name is Whitey Hirshorn. I'm the Director of Culinary Services here at Sysco, Dallas. Today we're going to be preparing a pork dish that is a great summer, either lunch entree or dinner entree. It's going to be a center-cut bone-in pork chop with a Michigan cherry and port wine demi-glace, and we're going to rub the pork chop with some Madras curry. I'm going to serve that over some sauteed red Swiss chard with a little shallot and some olive oil. So let's get started. We're going to start with our 2 6-ounce bone-in pork chops. We're going to season with a little bit of kosher salt. Then we're going to use the Sysco Imperial Madras curry powder. We're going to brown them on one side and flip them. Let them cook for a couple minutes until they're done. Then we're going to pull it off. We're going to add a little bit of red onion. We're going to add some of the dried cherries, the port wine, add the demi-glace. At the same time, we're going to saute the red Swiss chard with a little kosher salt and black pepper, a little 100% pure olive oil, and we're going to put it all together. So, start out with a little bit of your kosher salt. And what's going to happen here is by adding the curry, it's going to give it a little bit of your curry flavor, a little bit of heat. But when we add the cherries to the sauce, the sweetness from the cherries is going to balance out the heat from the curry. So I've got my skillet going right over here. We're going to put in a little bit of olive oil. All right, so now we've got our olive oil hot. Going to take our curried pork. Make sure that you get your pan really hot because you want it to saute. You don't want to steam it. You don't want it to sit there and sweat. So we're going to season a little bit more kosher salt. Come back with our Imperial Madras curry powder. Now turn the heat down a little bit because we want to cook them, but we don't want to burn them. So in the meantime, I'm going to take another skillet. We'll get that hot. We're going to do our Swiss chard in this pan. We've got our pork chops in this pan. And then once we remove the pork chops, we're going to build the sauce in this pan. Okay, now as you can see, these are cooking. Now I can brown them on one side and flip them and throw them into a 400-degree oven for about 4 or 5 minutes, or I can leave them in the pan. It just depends on, what kind of equipment you have. If you're in maybe a pasta house and you need all your burners for cooking pasta, you can finish them in the oven. Now you can also do this using a double-cut 12 to 14-ounce pork chop. But when I said earlier that this could be either a lunch or dinner portion, for dinner I would use 2 of the 6-ounce chops, and for lunch you can just use 1. All right, I'm going to add some more of the 100% olive oil, 100% pure olive oil. Once again, add some red onion. You can use red onion or shallot. All righty. Now before that gets too brown, I'm going to add my Swiss chard. A little bit of kosher salt and a little bit of pepper. All right. Now you can deglaze this pan with a little bit of pork stock. You can use a little bit of chicken broth. I'm going to use a little bit of white wine. And by deglazing it, all right. You're going to turn that off and let it sit right here. You're going to get a plate. Remove the pork chops. Now we're going to add a little bit more shallot. We're going to add our port wine. And we have taken the dried cherries, soaked them in some hot water for about 20 minutes. So we're going to deuce this down a little bit. Okay. Go ahead and add our Demi-Glaze with the dried cherries in it. Get a few more cherries here. Okay, and we built the sauce in the pan so that we can utilize the flavor of the juices from the pork. Okay, so we're going to leave that there. In the meantime, what we've done is we have some seasoned flour and the bottom third of some scallions, sliced in half and cleaned. What we're going to do is we're going to roll them in flour. We're going to put them in a little bit of tempura batter. And we're going to use this as a garnish for the pork. We're going to finish this plate off. We're going to start by taking our braised red Swiss chard. Now you can use beet greens. You can actually use braised romaine, braised baby spinach, braised field mix, but just something with a lot of nice color, a little bit of bitterness to it. Okay. We've got our 2 pork chops. We're going to take one there. We're going to put the other one right there. We'll expose the green a little bit. Come over here and get our sauce. And the idea is to sauce it, not drown it. So we're going to put just a little bit of our dried cherry and pork Demi-Glaze right over here and let it drip down. If you like, you can put a little bit on the plate, just kind of like that. All right, now we'll take our fried green onions. And the idea of the onions is to add something with a little bit of snap to the dish. Otherwise, it's going to have a very soft mouthfeel. But you can do something just like that. Okay, and that's it. There's your curry rubbed center cut bone-in pork loin with your dried Michigan cherry and port wine Demi-Glaze and tempura green onions or scallions for your garnish. Well, thank you for joining us today. If you'd like to see more recipes and learn more about Sysco Dallas, please visit our website at syscodallas.com. Thank you very much again for coming and have a great day.